bring in Don Bramer. He is a former intelligence officer and Iraq veteran, and he joins us now. Don, the president arriving in Israel at a time of war after a day of the situation only being made worse by this hospital bombing. So what do you think the impact of the president's trip to Israel will be?
Good morning, Carly. You know, I applaud the president for going in just days after this attack, landing into basically an active war zone. Earlier this week, as they mentioned, German Chancellor Scholz was in Tel Aviv and had to be evacuated from his plane as rockets were coming in. So I applaud the president, and I think that we need to realize that America does stand with its Israeli allies, and we need to be there to support. But we also need to understand that we need to deter any further action so that does not escalate in the region. There's a lot of bad actors, as we've heard previously, that want this to escalate, to distract America from Ukraine and also distract us from other issues in the world, such as Taiwan.
Yeah, that is so true. And the real concern is that this war will start off as one between Israel and Hamas and will end as a war between the United States and Iran. How does the Biden administration prevent that from happening?
Well, I think it is a show of force and a show of deterrence. And it's not just the United States. I applaud the United Kingdom. They have also stepped up to the plate, sending ships, planes, and troops into the region as well. And so it's not just the United States standing on ready. It's the United Kingdom. It's our allies. So this is a global issue, understanding that we must control this situation. It's a tinderbox that could go off at any moment. But before we wrap up, I want to applaud Lieutenant Colonel Lerner. A few years ago, I was in Israel and have some very good friends who are also Israeli reservists, and they've been on the ground and they've been helping rescue these children and these families and bringing them aid they need. So the resolve of the Israeli people is tremendous right now.
And that was beautifully said by Lieutenant Colonel Lerner. Also want to touch upon something. We've had you on multiple times during my time here at Fox to discuss world issues and world conflicts from a military strategy perspective. Do you look at what is happening with regard to other nations, Russia, China, and see an axis of evil forming that could ultimately lead to something much bigger than what we are seeing right now, which is, at the moment, a regional Israeli-Gaza, Israeli-Hamas conflict?
Todd, you put it perfectly. Make no mistake, these bad actors communicate, they talk. They realize that by themselves, they're very weak. They don't have the resources, but coming together, now they are a force that can create larger global impacts and affect the entire world. With Ukraine, with China, all those fronts going on, and now in the Middle East, which, we thought the Middle East was starting to slow down, but now it's an active war zone again, and everyone wants to see what is America going to do, but also how can you weaken America by taking its focus in more than one place. We've depleted a lot of our military hardware, our stores, in supporting of Ukraine, and now that puts us in a situation where we rely on our industrial base and we rely on our partners more than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also do want to ask you about the situation here at home. And FBI Director Christopher Wray just warning about lone wolf terror attacks and the increase in chances of one taking place. How does the intel community prevent that from happening? And should people be worried right now?
Well, Carla, there's absolutely no way that you can 100% prevent that from happening. I think what you see in Israel right now with those horrific attacks shows that even at its best, and with the Mossad being one of the best intel agencies in the world, in the state of human, things will get through and things will happen. And if you walk here in Washington, D.C., you see not terrorists, but protesters outside of the White House, students enraged, Palestinians enraged. So lone wolves can be anyone from one person that just does this on their own or a small organized group. I think right now Americans, especially in large areas of population, need to be cautious, need to be prepared for any situation, and take care of your loved ones. Make sure that you have an exit strategy, a plan, so that your children know where to go, where to meet. Plan ahead for these things, because in today's world, anything is possible, and I would hate to see something like what happened in Israel happen here at home with our own children.
Don, does this attack on Israel refocus your former colleagues in the intel community away from things like January 6th, away from things like soccer moms, to the real terrorists who want to do us harm?
You know, I hope so, and I applaud our intel professionals. They do an outstanding job, and I think they should be allowed to focus on what they're best at, what they are subject matter experts at. And the colleagues that I still speak to, you know, this was an incident that was expected, not known when it was going to happen, but also the potential was always there. And we need to focus on the real bad guys and not just make-believe bad guys.
There's also the situation with the hostages. Do you think that there's a plan in place to get them back? And are U.S. special operators possibly involved in that plan?
While I won't address the last part of your statement, Carly, I will tell you there is always a plan in place for every possible scenario. That is what the U.S. military is exceptional at doing, and especially in working with our allies.
Don Bramer, live for us this morning. Don, we appreciate your insight on a very fast-moving, historic morning here.
It certainly is.